The Mubadala DC Open was supposed to be just another tournament on the WTA calendar. That is, until the Filipino fans arrived. The moment Alex Eala's participation was announced, something extraordinary happened. Thousands of supporters descended on Washington, D.C., turning the William H. G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center into a sea of red, white, blue, and yellow. The chants of Eala, 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 echoed through the stadium. The flags waved proudly. And the tournament organizers were left speechless. They had never seen anything like it. Andy Roddick, the former U.S. Open champion, called it a movement that Eala is single-handedly creating. He said, "Eala mania is fun. When you have watch parties in arenas around your country for a fourth-round match, I'm in." This was not just a tennis match, it was a historic moment that proved Alex Eala's popularity has reached a new level. For more coverage in tennis, subscribe and hit the notification bell. The moment Alex Eala's participation in the Mubadala DC Open was announced, the Filipino community mobilized. They had been following her journey since her historic Wimbledon run, where she became the first Filipino to reach the fourth round of a Grand Slam in the Open era. Now, they had the chance to see her in person. And they were not going to miss it. Tickets for the tournament sold at a rapid pace, with the Filipino community in the United States snapping up seats in record numbers. The William H. G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center, which typically hosts a mix of local and international fans, was transformed into a sea of Philippine flags. The chants of Eala, 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 echoed through the stadium, creating an atmosphere that was both electric and overwhelming. The support was not just about the numbers, it was about the energy. Every point Eala won was met with thunderous applause. Every rally was accompanied by cheers that seemed to shake the very foundations of the stadium. The Filipino fans had turned a tennis tournament into a celebration of national pride. The atmosphere was reminiscent of the support that Manny Pacquiao received in his prime. But this was different. This was tennis. And the world was taking notice. The Filipino community had made their presence felt, and they were determined to show the world that the Philippines had arrived on the global tennis stage. The Eala effect had reached America, and it was a beautiful thing to behold. The fans were not just there to see a tennis player, they were there to celebrate a shared achievement. They were there to show the world that the Philippines is proud of its daughter. The scenes at the DC Open were a testament to the power of community and the deep connection that Eala has forged with her people. The tournament organizers, who had seen large crowds at previous events, were taken aback by the sheer volume of Filipino supporters. The demand for tickets was so high that additional sections had to be opened to accommodate the influx. Local media outlets covered the phenomenon, with headlines like "Filipino fans take over Washington and Eala mania sweeps the capital." The support was a testament to the deep connection that Eala has forged with her people, a bond that transcends borders and brings the Filipino diaspora together in celebration of their champion. The Filipino takeover of Washington, D.C. was not a coincidence. It was the culmination of a phenomenon that had been building for months. The Eala effect had transformed Alex Eala from a promising junior into a global icon, and her fanbase had grown exponentially with each historic victory. Eala's Wimbledon run had been a turning point. Her victory over defending champion Iga Swiatek on center court had captured the imagination of fans around the world. The highlight reel of that win became the most watched video of the entire championships on Wimbledon's official YouTube channel. She had become the first Filipino to reach the fourth round of a Grand Slam in the Open era. And in doing so, she had inspired a nation. The support had been building for years. At the Australian Open, Filipino fans had queued for hours just to catch a glimpse of her. At Indian Wells, the stadium was packed with supporters waving Philippine flags. Now, in Washington, D.C., the Eala effect had reached a new level. The fans who had been watching her from afar finally had the chance to see her in person, and they were determined to make their presence felt. Andy Roddick, the former U.S. Open champion, has been one of the most vocal supporters of the Filipina sensation. In his podcast, he described the phenomenon as a movement that Eala is single-handedly creating. "Eala mania is fun," Roddick exclaimed. I'm sorry, when you have watch parties in arenas around your country for a fourth-round match, I'm in. Imagine, wherever you live, whatever the biggest venue is closest to you, imagine having watch parties for a fourth-round match at Wimbledon, and having no room. I am here for Eala mania, it's great for tennis. Roddick also emphasized that the narrative around Eala is changing. It was a fun story when she broke out in Miami, we wanted more of it, he said. But she's top 30, beating players at majors, so it went from a fun story to a very real story and a phenomenon. He also stressed that instead of criticizing the media hoopla about Eala, we should all grab it, embrace it, love it, shake it, be thankful for it. She is single-handedly bringing more fans into tennis in a very committed and passionate way. The Eala effect has also been felt by her opponents. At Indian Wells, Jessica Pegula, who faced Eala in the Miami Open semi-finals, described the experience of playing against a crowd that was overwhelmingly behind her opponent. Even Coco Gauff, who has faced Eala on the court, acknowledged the support that Eala receives. The Eala effect is a phenomenon that the tennis world is still trying to understand, and it was on full display in Washington, D.C. The Filipino diaspora in the United States is one of the largest in the world. With millions of Filipinos living and working across the country, the community has always been eager to support their countrymen. But Alex Eala's rise has taken that support to a new level. The United States is home to a large Filipino population, particularly in cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, D.C. When Eala was announced for the DC Open, the Filipino community in the D.C. area mobilized. They organized travel arrangements, coordinated watch parties, and ensured that the stadium would be filled with Philippine flags. The support from the fans was a reflection of the deep connection that Eala has forged with her people. For them, she is not just a player, she is a symbol of hope. She is a testament to the power of perseverance and dedication. Her journey from a young girl in Manila to a Grand Slam standout is an inspiration. The fans who filled the stadium in D.C. were not just there to see a tennis player, they were there to celebrate a shared achievement. Eala has spoken about the unique support she receives from Filipinos around the world. I think we're just very proud of where we come from, she once said. We have a really strong sense of community, and you can see it whenever someone succeeds. We're a community that uplifts each other. We're positive people, and when positive things happen to fellow Filipinos around the world, we share in that joy and happiness. The reception in D.C. was a reflection of that philosophy. The support was also deeply personal. For many overseas Filipino workers, supporting Eala is more than just watching a tennis match. It is a way of staying connected to their homeland. When Eala plays, the Filipino community comes together, creating a sense of belonging and shared purpose. The DC Open became a celebration of Filipino pride, a moment where the diaspora could come together and show their support for their hero. The scenes at the stadium were a testament to the power of community and the deep connection that Eala has forged with her people. Even in moments of defeat, the fans' loyalty remains unwavering, as they continue to support their champion through every triumph and challenge. The Eala effect is a movement that is only going to grow, and the world is just beginning to see what this young Filipina sensation is capable of. With the fanfare surrounding her arrival, the focus eventually shifted to the court. Eala's first-round draw was a formidable one. She was scheduled to face Zheng Qinwen of China, the 2024 Paris Olympics gold medalist. The matchup was expected to be one of the marquee first-round contests of the tournament. Zheng, currently ranked world No. 123, had struggled to regain her form following an elbow injury after Wimbledon 2025 that eventually required surgery. Since returning to competition in February, the 23-year-old Chinese star had suffered first-round exits at both the French Open and Wimbledon in 2026. But Zheng's Olympic gold medal pedigree meant she was still a dangerous opponent. The match was a test for Eala's hard-court game. She had proven herself on grass, reaching the fourth round of Wimbledon and defeating defending champion Iga Swiatek. But the hard courts of Washington presented a different challenge. The DC Open was the start of her North American hard-court campaign, and she was determined to prove that she could compete on all surfaces. Eala's preparation for the match had been intense. She had been training at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, working on her serve, her movement, and her fitness. The support from her fans would be a source of strength for her as she began her hardcourt campaign. The DC Open was a golden opportunity for her to make a statement and prove that she could compete with the best players in the world on any surface. The match against Zheng was not just about winning, it was about building momentum. A deep run in Washington could vault Eala into the top 25 or even the top 20. The points on offer were significant, and Eala was determined to take advantage of the opportunity. The hardcourt season is a chance for Eala to prove that she is a complete player. She has already shown that she can succeed on grass. Now, she must show that she can succeed on hard courts as well. The DC Open is the first step in that journey, and Eala is ready to take it. The support from her fans will be a source of strength for her as she begins her hardcourt campaign. The tennis world is watching, and the future is bright for Alex Eala. Let us zoom out. The Filipino takeover of Washington D.C. was about more than just a tennis tournament. It was about the power of representation and the impact of a single individual to inspire a nation. Alex Eala's journey from a young girl in Manila to a Grand Slam standout is an inspiration. She has already achieved more than any Filipino player before her. She is the first to be seeded at Wimbledon. She is the first to reach the second week of a Grand Slam. She has beaten the best players in the world, including the defending champion Iga Swiatek. She is only 21 years old, and her journey is just beginning. The support from her fans is a testament to the impact she has had on the Philippines. She is not just a tennis player, she is a movement. The tennis world is watching, and the Philippines is celebrating. Alex Eala is ready for the next challenge. The DC Open was just the beginning of a new chapter in her incredible story. She is not just a tennis player, she is a global icon. Her journey is a reminder that greatness can come from anywhere, and that the power of dreams is limitless. The fans who filled the stands and the online viewers who watched with bated breath are proof that tennis is alive, well, and more exciting than ever. Eala has often spoken about the importance of staying grounded. I don't see myself any differently. I know who I am, she said. Her humility is one of her defining qualities, and it is one of the reasons she has become so beloved. Despite her success, she remains connected to her roots and committed to representing the Philippines with pride and honor. The DC Open was a celebration of that commitment. The fans who turned out to support her were not just there to watch a tennis match, they were there to celebrate a shared achievement. They were there to show the world that the Philippines is proud of its daughter. And Eala, as always, was grateful and humble, embodying the very qualities that made her a hero in the first place. The tournament was a moment of national unity, a moment of pure joy, and a moment that proved that a young woman from Manila could conquer the world. For more coverage in tennis, subscribe and hit the notification bell.